American Mary, which was the hit of the most recent Fright Fest by the Foster sisters, the Twisted Sisters, they're also known as. And the film, it's going out. Fright Fest presents American Mary. There is a little tour of it, a limited theatrical tour. You can, I think, frightfest.co.uk will tweet the link. If you want to find it, you'll have to look for it. David Cronenberg famously said a thing in Videodrome, in the Videodrome script. One of the characters says, what makes Videodrome dangerous is that it has a philosophy. When it comes to horror films, if you're a horror film aficionado, you get really used to the idea that the most interesting films are the films that have a philosophy, that have an idea. An awful lot of horror films are made on fairly low budgets with certain sort of production issues. But if there's an idea, it will see you through. And in the case of American Mary, it has an idea. I was really surprised that some sort of mainstream critics really didn't get this at all. They said, oh, well, it's the kind of film that would only go down well with horror fans. But that kind of baffles me. It reminded me, in a very good way, of the early work of David Cronenberg. There's also some hints of Miki Takahashi in there. The story is that there is a young woman who is training to be a surgeon. She is financially strapped, and she lives in a very, very chauvinistic world. An appalling, horrible thing happens to her, and she discovers that she can make some money by using her, as yet, amateur surgical skills in a slightly criminal way. As a result of this, she ends up getting drawn into the body modification world and also uses her newfound skills to take vengeance upon the people who have hideously wronged her. It's the star of it, Katharine Isabelle, was the star of Ginger Snaps and was therefore sort of thought of very, very affectionately in the horror community because that's such a terrific film. The thing that I liked about this was that it is a film with a really strong central idea, which is it is about what it means to objectify, what it means to inhabit a body which is objectified both by others and by you. And it is about, in that very Cronenbergian way, a kind of body horror film. It is a feminist horror film in the same way as, I know not everybody agrees with this, that film that we reviewed before, Teeth, which we tied ourselves up in knots attempting to describe, between 2 till 4 on Radio 5. And it had a similar kind of sardonic, dark tone to it. It's also one of those films that it understands that there's a certain amount of, sleaze and stuff that you have to have in the film. It's the Roger Corman thing, you have to have these elements. And it looked to me, watching the film, that there was just enough right in there to make a titillatory trailer that will then draw somebody in who will then be surprised by what's actually in the film. If you're a horror fan, it is really worth seeking out. I am surprised that more mainstream critics haven't embraced it in the way that I thought perhaps they should have done.